Hello and welcome to the Authentic Video Creation course. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm George Kao. And the first question I have for you is, why is it important for you to do video? And I would love for you to chat below or comment below the video and let me know and let the other students know why it's important for you to do video. Because ultimately, you need to find a reason that is so important and compelling for you that you do video on a regular and rhythmic basis. And if you do video on a regular rhythmic basis, you will get good at doing video. And that's one of the most important messages you're going to hear in this entire course. And if there's only one thing you take away, that's the one thing I want you to take away. Now, of course, we're going to cover a lot of things, from how do we come up with video ideas, to what are the logistics of doing video, to how do we market the videos. We'll go over all that. But ultimately, if you don't keep yourself in a rhythm of doing video, you're not going to develop the skills necessary to make great video and to show up as your most inspirational, authentic self, whatever that means for you. We all have different styles. Some people are, really active on video and loud and, exciting, and, that's how they do it. And at the same time, some very successful video makers are very quiet and they're very still on video. And yet their audience still loves them, gets so much from them. And that is another important message, is that you don't have to try to be like me or like anybody else you see on video. You've got to find your own authentic style and then go full force into that authenticity, whatever that means for you. Which also means you need to experiment. Sometimes try being active and hyper and excited, and sometimes try being quiet. And sometimes try being funny. I don't know what that means for me, but sometimes try being serious and with lots of gravitas. Does that make sense? And just a little bit of logistics for the course. I'm going to encourage all of you to stay muted. So make sure your mic is muted. It's automatically muted unless you unmute yourself, those of you who are live here. And the second thing I'd love for you to do is, as you go through this course, as you watch this session, I would love for you to comment below the video whenever you hear a point that you want to remember. Because as you chat the point, and it can be just a few words, it doesn't have to be the full paragraph of what you heard, but just chat a few words of what you want to remember, and that helps you to remember it, but also helps the others who are watching this later to benefit from your little note-taking below the video. So thank you so much. I want to say hi to some of those who are able to join me for the live recording. Gary wrote, I'm very print-oriented, but I suspect I have a video muscle that needs exercising, and that's probably true for many of you. Susan from Dallas wrote that I realized a lot of my potential audience probably prefer watching videos to reading long blog posts, and I found that to be true for my audience too. You will reach different people when you make videos versus writing blog posts. I actually recommend that you do both, because I find that I have quite a, quite a sizable audience in both reading and watching videos, and I get clients from both. Although I'll be honest with you, a lot of my clients say that they watched my videos before they decided to work with me. And of course, it's probably a natural filter, because I'm sure some people watch my videos and decide not to work with me. And that is a good thing too. You've got to realize that if you're seeking clients, if you're seeking customers, or whatever it may be, you're seeking business partners or opportunities, you want the people who resonate with your presence as much as possible. Do you agree with me? You don't want people, you don't want to have to show up as a performer every single time you work with clients or business partners or customers. You would like to ideally just be your most authentic, and of course your most inspired self, your your best self. But that is what we try to show up on video as, not as a performance, but doing your spiritual practice in advance of the video, whatever that means for you. For me, it's an energy reboot. I hold my hands to my heart. I breathe love. I breathe out gratitude. I breathe love again. I breathe out complete security. And then I kind of hold my hands together and I breathe a particular value set or virtue into the next task. But whatever it means for you, to do that energetic prep before you do your video will help you to step into your most authentically best self. And that is the kind of self you want to have attract your true fans and ideal viewer and ideal customer to you. Linda from Hawaii wrote that I like video because it keeps talking even after I'm tired and want to be quiet. Exactly. Your videos are like your constant way of blessing the world. You make it once and it just keeps blessing people again and again and again. Okay. All right. So let's go into, I'm going to start to walk you through the resource guide, which you should have received when you signed up for this course. If you did not receive it, I'm going to go ahead and post it. I'm going to post it in the chat for those of you who are live here. And for those who are watching the replay, look at the email where you got the link to this video. And inside that email, look for the resource guide link. Okay. All right. In the first couple pages of the resource guide, I kind of walk you through my most important reasons for doing video. And just a real quick summary for you. There are many reasons there, but I'll give you three quick reasons. One, video is probably going to be the most impactful way for you to build credibility with your ideal audience, to build warmth, to build trust. It does so much more than it can be communicated through words, through writing, or even through audio alone. Video, they see your face, they see your facial expressions, they see your hands, they see your energy, they feel your energy, which cannot be done through writing or images or podcasting alone. Okay, that's one. Of course, that's the marketing reason to do video. The second reason, which I touched on earlier, is video is a way to serve your audience. Like Linda says, even when you feel tired, once you make the video, it just keeps blessing people. It's your legacy, in other words. It's the most powerful, and in the future, maybe not too distant future, computers and artificial intelligence will get so good that one day you will have an AI version of you. I know this is pretty far-fetched. Probably in 30 to 50 years, maybe some of us will no longer be physically present, but we will have an AI version of us continuing to bless the world. And the more video you make, and this is kind of a funny way of thinking about legacy, but the more video you make, the more accurate your AI version of you will be. Now that's kind of a far-fetched, funny fantasy, science, reality, future version, but it is your legacy. Even while you're here, it is your legacy. Okay. And third, a reason that a lot of people don't think about, which I think is really important, is that video allows you to experiment with your voice and presence and message and way of blessing the world. And it allows you to step in to that the greatest version of how you express your message in the world. Writing is great, but there's nothing more authentic than speaking. Do you agree with me? Writing, you get to edit yourself, you get to pause, but when you're talking, especially when you're doing live video, that is your full self-expression. Ideally you're in the room with somebody, but video, another reason, is that it's the next best thing to doing in-person speaking. One day we'll have holograms, but the next best thing, in-person speaking is the best thing to get clients, to build impact, blah, blah, blah. But it's the hardest thing. Have you ever tried to fill a room in a workshop or in-person speaking? In-person speaking is my favorite thing to do. But if you notice what I do, I never market in-person speaking because I've done it before and it's so hard to do. Some of you have done it successfully, and the blessings to you. More power. Keep doing it. Please do. More in-person speaking. But for those of us who know the marketing reality of how hard it is to fill a room, to make it profitable of an event, if someone invites you to in-person speaking, please say yes, especially if they pay for your expenses. But besides that, video is the next best thing to reach the maximum amount of people. We'll talk about the marketing of it. So video, authentic expression, stepping into the most deepest and greatest way of you serving the world with your message and with your experience and wisdom. So, all right. Throughout the resource document, which I'm going to share with you on screen for a moment here, you're going to see, sometimes you're going to see this bonus link. I'll give you some examples here. Let's see here. It shows up. Oh, there you go. You see, it says bonus link. Whenever you see that, it is going to be in the bonus document, which is going to keep building. I'm going to add more links to the bonus document over time. So what I would love for you to do is to go ahead and click on fill out the feedback form now. And that will open a page that looks like this. And just keep that page open so that you can fill this out after you watch this first session. So I'd love for you to fill it out twice if you are willing to, but at least after the first session watching this, go ahead and fill it out. And once you fill it out, it's not that much. It's just a few things. You'll get access to the bonus links as well. Okay? So with that, I'm going to also post the feedback form link in the live chat. Okay, let's go back to so the way that I'm going to teach you to do video in this course, I hope you signed up for the course with the right expectations. I'm not going to teach you to edit videos. If you were expecting that, please go ahead and request a refund and stop watching this now. I'm not going to teach you how to edit videos. I'll teach you like the most basic things of trimming the video, and you can edit out the middle. I mean, literally, it's going to take me 5 minutes to teach you how to edit the most simple way. Why am I not teaching you how to edit videos? Because the very fact of you editing videos, the more you edit your videos, the less authentic it's become. What I want you to learn how to do is to speak live on video, because that is the most authentic thing you can do. The more prepared your script, in fact, this video that I'm showing you is not authentic because I have prepared a lot for this session. You see what I mean? I have 13 pages of notes that I prepared that I'm going to try to follow as best as I can and try to stick to the time. In fact, that's the authentic part of what I do in these courses. I don't stick to the time that I prepared. But the less prepared you are on video, the more authentic it is. Now, you've got to, of course, balance between just turning on the camera and spewing your monkey mind to the world. That's one version of authentic. But the other version of authentic that I want you to work towards is being your channeled self, you might say. Those of you who believe in channeling or inspiration or being in line with your creative muse and your higher self, that's what I mean when I really say authentic. And so by practicing showing up on video, you're going to practice I promise you, I am much smarter, on live video than I am prepared, because I channel. I put it in quotes because some of you actually believe it. Some of you don't. I don't know what your beliefs are. I kind of believe it. I channel my higher self, my most smartest, my creative muse when I show up authentically on live video. Now, you're going to have to work your way into live video if you're not already comfortable on camera. So the first thing we're going to practice is doing pre-recorded video, which is you can record and then you can, stop the recording, et cetera, right? So, okay. So what's the end game? What am I really encouraging you to do is create authentic, simple videos. So few takes, ideally a live video, minimum editing. I do no editing now on my videos. I just do live videos. Sharing from the heart, channeling your higher self, simple preparation. So you do a little bit of preparation in terms of not just turning on the camera and spewing your monkey mind today. Now, eventually, you'll be so practiced with channeling your higher self that you can turn on the camera and just channel your higher self. And again, whenever you hear me say channel, if you don't believe all that's junk, I believe it. But if you don't believe that stuff, if you consider it junk, just put it in quotes. What I mean is just showing up as your most inspired being. Okay. Okay. And of course, part of if you are building a business and doing videos for that, you do need to, in your preparation, you do need to ask yourself, is it connected to my core message of my business? And if you don't have if you don't want to know what your core message is, if you want my help to work through your core message, I have an entire course on helping you work through your core message. So be sure to look for that on my website. Okay. So what I want to try to get you away from is hiding behind the screencast, sharing your slideshow, sharing your images. I want you to show up with your face to the world, because that's how you're going to attract your most ideal customers and clients. Your face, not your slideshow, not your curated images. Okay. You got it? I know a lot of you want to hide because you are shy and you are private. And let me tell you, I started out that way too. In fact, I mean, if I say started out, I'm talking about when I was in elementary and high school, I was bullied. Some of you may have been as well. I was bullied. Why? Not because, I don't know, people are bullied for many reasons. I was bullied because I was quiet in class. And whenever I spoke up, I sounded really awkward. I didn't know how to talk. I always sounded stupid when I spoke up. That's why I was bullied. And it wasn't until I got into a small class with a very thoughtful teacher that encouraged me to speak up, to fail, to make mistakes. And I just kept doing that until I realized, and that class was particularly loving, that I'm like, maybe I can say something. Maybe I can talk. And part of it also was I'm an immigrant. I grew up in Taiwan. So when we came here, I was still learning English. And so that was part of why I was so sounded bad when I talked, because I didn't know how to talk English, literally. But now you can't get me off video. You can't get me to stop talking in a group, however large the group is. Why? Practice. Not because I was born this way. No, I'm the third kid. I was always told to shut up in my family. My two brothers are similar in age, and they're 5 or 6 years older than me. So naturally, I was always the least knowledgeable growing up in my family. I didn't grow up this way. I practiced becoming this way. So however shy you are, however private you think you want to be, and by the way, I'm a hardcore introvert now. I don't even want friends, right? I don't have any local friends. I try to keep myself very private. I don't go to networking meetings. I hate parties. Invite me to anything and I'll always say no. The only thing I'll say yes to is you invite me to a dinner. If you come and visit me in my neighborhood, I will treat you to dinner. This is an invitation for all of you. Come and see me in my neighborhood. I'll treat you to dinner. I'm an introvert. I don't like to be out in public. I don't like to share my private life. If you see my Facebook personal profile, I never share anything private. It's always just content. It's just always like, here are my thoughts. I'm a private person, and yet I am super authentically expressive, extrovert looking on video, not because I'm an extrovert, because I have found, and as you probably know, if you study introverts, some of the best actors and performers in the world are introverts and very private people. So it's not about extroversion. It's about channeling your higher self. All of us, when we eventually channel our message and our core message and our higher self, we become we become speakers. We become expressors and on video. So I hope this inspires you. The worst thing about the biggest danger to making video is perfectionism. And I want you to be a perfectionist only in the big picture sense. A big picture perfectionist is one who sees the perfection of the big picture, okay? You see the perfection of the process of becoming your most authentic and channeled self. You see the perfection of that process. But if you look at all the details, there's going to be tons of failure along the failure and mistakes and, oh my God, that was a terrible video. I've made 1,000 videos now, and probably 900 of them were bad in my own judgment. Okay. But I made them anyway. And because I'm a big picture perfectionist, I see that I'm not worried about offending my current audience. And you have to realize this. The fact that you're going to build an audience means that most of the people at any snapshot in the moment of your business or of your audience building, any snapshot of any moment, that audience you have, the audience you have right now is minuscule compared to the audience you're going to have in the future. So in other words, your audience right now, don't worry about their offending them or not showing up with makeup. Or, put on makeup if you want to, women, men too. Put on makeup if you enjoy it. If it's going to help you, if it's going to help you feel better, absolutely do it. But don't put on makeup if it's a chore and you can't show up authentically as yourself. So whatever that means for you authentically. If it's makeup, great. If it's not makeup, great. If it's hair, done well, great. If it's not, don't worry about it. If it's a chore. You've got to make video making natural and easy for you. And therefore you will show up and be able to channel your higher self. The less performing you feel you need to do, the better you're going to show up doing videos that really resonate the energy-wise with your ideal audience, okay? So don't be a perfectionist in a small way. This video didn't go well. Who cares? 900 videos didn't go well, okay? Make the next one. Publish it, knowing your current audience is just 0.1% of the audience you're going to have, and don't worry about offending them. In fact, I'll tell you this, your true fans love you no matter what. And your true fans are the 10,000 or the 10 million who are looking for you. If only you would show up, okay? If only you would show up, they would be able to find you. And you have to learn how to show up enough and market your videos and get good at doing videos. By getting good, I mean getting good at speaking, getting good at being yourself on camera, okay? So the most important thing is to have your rhythm of videos. That's the most important thing. So I'll give you a sample plan at the end of this session, and hopefully you can commit to something like that. So confidence, that's the biggest and first question that many of you have. How do I build the confidence to make my first video? I'm gonna ask this question. Who live right now, those of you who are watching this live, who is scared of making their first video? Raise your hand. Okay, I see Captain who raised his hand. I don't want to put him on the spot necessarily. Now, those of you who raise your hand of scared of making your first video, who is willing to step out of your comfort zone now and show up on video in this course for 1 minute or half a minute? And you're going to be scared, you're going to be blubbering, and we're going to love you anyway. And what I'm going to encourage you to do, raise your hand if you're willing to have this experiment with me here on camera, live. Okay. And Captain is getting ready to get out of the dark. There, he was in the dark. I can see the little preview video. And so, Captain, I'm gonna have you be an example for us. A guinea pig. We're gonna love you. And what I'm gonna ask you to do is to just talk for 30 seconds, sharing with us. Think about one tip from one of your recent writings or something that from your area of expertise. It's just one tip about something that you help your audience with. And I just want you to share that one tip for us on video. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, something like that. How does that sound?
Okay, that's amazing.
And you've never done video, right, Captain?
No, I've not. I mean, this is something I've been wanting to do like forever, but I just keep shying away. So,
okay, so
here's me on the spot, George.
Here's the only tip I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
Just be sure to look at the camera lens and give us that one tip for 30 or to 60 seconds. So look at the camera lens and share.
Okay. Yeah, so basically, I think the tip I'm going to talk about is I did this article when I wrote about my wife and our 40th anniversary. And so I was just telling people that you can make it work, because I've seen people who have relationships and they're struggling. And I'm someone who's very passionate about people doing well in their relationships and having a very happy marriage. And so I was just sharing some tips. And one thing I wrote is about intimacy. and how you need to create time for your family. No matter how busy you are, you just have to create time for your wife or for your partner. If you're a lady, you create time for your husband. So that's something very important because I have two kids who are very active, and finding that time when you have a full schedule can be really difficult. So, but if you remember that your partner is the number one, yeah, so you just have to make that time and create that intimacy. That's it.
Amazing. Amazing. Captain, you've just made your first video. And you already have, 30, 50, I don't know how many people are going to be watching this this course later. So congratulations.
Yay!
Yay. So that's it. And Captain, please feel free to chat your website link so that we can all go and support you and expect videos from you at some point. Okay. So that's it. So the most important tip I have for you to build confidence to do video, just like I built confidence in my formative years, coming out of being bullied to not be able to talk in class, is to find a loving group of people. And just say, you know what, I need your loving support and encouragement to show up as my imperfect self on video. Would you give me some encouragement? You don't have to watch the whole video. I just made a 5-minute video, 3-minute video, 15-minute video. But if you'd be willing to watch 10 seconds of it and just give me some supportive encouragement. I don't need any tips yet. I'll need tips later, but just, don't give me any critique yet. Just give me some loving encouragement. Maybe one thing that you appreciate about me on video. Captain, one thing I loved about what you did just now was it's conversational. And you were also, another thing I loved is you spoke from your own experience. So it grounded that example, that tip right away. Like, oh, 2 kids. Well, that's right. You got to make time for your, So that was just a couple of things I appreciated. Just a couple of things. And you have a great smile. So 3 things. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Find a loving, supportive group. Those of you who are working with me, I can be your loving, supportive group of 1. Or if you're in, Master Heart, my group coaching program, that's a loving, supportive group to show up on camera and say, love you. So that's it. So start with a loving, supportive group to just appreciate you for the good things that you do show up as. And then the next thing is that same loving, supportive group say, hey, can you give me one tip on how I can improve? Maybe also, sandwich method. Say one thing you liked about my video, one thing I can improve, and another thing you liked about my video, even if you watch it for 15 seconds. Okay. So as I've said, I'm not a natural on camera. It's just that I've done it 1,000 times, and you can too. You probably don't need 1,000 times. Maybe you only need 10 times until you find that naturalness on camera. But you're going to keep experimenting. Keep experimenting. Don't assume that you've always been extroverted, so being extroverted is the best for you on camera. Or don't assume that you've always been quiet and private, so being quiet and private is how. No, experiment. Try different styles. Watch people on camera, watch different videos and go, I wonder if I could try his style. I wonder if I could be like her. Just try it and see how it feels to you. Okay, see how the channeling goes, right? Okay, another really helpful thing, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is find your natural time and place to do videos. I didn't say this yet, but I'm going to say it now. Remember, your most important thing is rhythm of doing videos, right? So to make it easy for you, find a natural time and place. Don't make it something that's a chore. Oh, every time I do video, I got to tell everybody I know that I'm going to be away for an hour. And I'm going to have to, set up my studio. It takes me half an hour to set up my backdrop and my lighting. You're not going to make videos. Okay. You're going to make 1 a year. Okay. It can't be like that. It has to be something that's so casual and so quick. So the way I got started with my first 100 videos is walking my dog. That's why I did the walking outdoor videos. And some of you think, well, that's the way that George does it. That's how I used to do it. Now, as you can see, I just do it here in my office. But back then I was like, well, I got to walk my dog anyway. I'm at the park. The first video idea came to me like, oh, I'm at the dog park. It's kind of beautiful here. And I have something I want to say to my clients. So I'm just going to turn on the camera and give this tip that I think I should send to my clients. And it kind of started that way. I'm like, okay, well, Send it. Now maybe I should post it on my Facebook now. And at the dog park, I have a natural boundary. I'm not going to stay at the dog park forever. I can't be on camera for like a long time because Buddy is a crazy, rascally dog and he's going to get into trouble for more than 5 minutes. So I have a time limit to make my video. So that's another important thing, a natural time limit. If you don't have a dog walk, maybe I've got an appointment coming up and I got to leave the house at 1:45. That might be a little dangerous, but I got to leave the house, or I got a client coming, or I got to do something. So let me take 10 minutes before my appointment to make my video because I have a natural boundary. I'm not going to do 55 takes. I only have 2 takes to make a 5-minute video because I got 10 minutes. Now, in the beginning, you're really embarrassed, I know. So you might want to give yourself up to 5 takes. Here's my cardinal rule for you. No more than 5 takes. Hi, this is George. I shouldn't have introduced myself first. George says don't introduce yourself until the end. That's another tip. Don't introduce yourself first. Some of you are like, hi, everyone. I'm George, and I am a conscious business coach. You've already lost everybody. Who cares who you are and what you do? Nobody cares, okay? They'll care at the end after you've shown your channeled self. You're amazing. You're you. You don't have to be amazing. Just be you. And they got something from your presence. And here's George Kao signing off. If you're interested in working with me privately, I've got some spots. And there's a link below the video, or go to georgekao.com. And either way, blessings. Sign off in a nice way. But introduce yourself at the end, not at the beginning. Everybody. Okay, I know I'm going to be against some video marketers who always say introduce yourself at the beginning because people only watch the first 15 seconds. But if people watch the first 15 seconds, bless them in the first 15 seconds. I know I'm anti-branding. It's okay to again, I'm talking about authentic, simple videos. So I'm not going to ask you to make a video animated intro or anything like that. Down the road, you may take another class by somebody else who's going to teach you to make scripted and edited videos. Not this class, okay? All right, so natural time and place, and then stick with it. So you might have to experiment. Sometimes, it's morning, night, afternoon, find it, experiment, and stick to it. Okay, let's talk about how to come up with video ideas. How do I come up with video ideas? And you might borrow from it. Okay, so the first most important thing is to have a place to track your ideas. How many of you get ideas at random times and not exactly when you're at the computer taking notes about ideas? Raise your hand, okay? All of us do, okay? How many of you get ideas when you're in the shower, for example? Sometimes. There is a product that I use called Aqua Notes. Just go to Amazon, search Aqua Notes, and it's a pad that you stick to your shower wall with a pencil, and it's waterproof paper. And if you have an idea that comes in the shower, you write it down. That's an extreme example. I get ideas a lot when I'm walking, or when I'm just out and about or in the house doing chores. And when I get an idea, I whip out my phone, I open my Todoist app, Todoist.com is what I use, and I take the note down real quick. I put it in my today list, and at the end of the day, I will categorize that a video idea into the video ideas project, which is a long list of video ideas. So have a tool that you have with you at all times to capture ideas, because your creative muse isn't only going to show up when you ask it to. It'll show up at random times. Most important thing. Okay, so sources of ideas. Here in the document I will show you is a list of 11 sources of ideas. This is on page 5 of the document. So look for that. And basically use this, okay? Use this in your video idea brainstorming. So a lot of it comes from intuition. A lot of it can also come from, how many of you have clients? Well, raise your hand if you have clients. Some of you are still starting out building your business, but if you have clients, and have you noticed that your clients keep getting into the same issues? Multiple clients will have, right? Why don't you make a video about that? Or Have you ever found that multiple clients come to you and you wish they had some foundational knowledge so that you can kind of do deeper work with them? Raise your hand. Right? Ken, thank you. Make a video with a piece of that foundational knowledge. You see? So that by the time people have watched that video, they will come to you and you'll be able to do deeper work with them. You'll be able to make progress faster with them. And here's the other key. It doesn't matter how much content you put out on video. People will still want to hire you for you to tell them the same thing that you said 1,000 times on video. I promise you. People still hire me today, and I've made probably 300 videos about the importance of consistent content, and people hire me to tell them that. And in fact, here's the weirdest thing. The more videos you make, the more people want to hire you to say those same things to them. A very prolific video maker, Gary Vaynerchuk, he says the same thing over and over again. He says patience, he talks about hustle, he talks about, self-awareness, and then people pay him $100,000 to give a talk saying the same thing. He puts on his channel the videos of all his keynote speeches. You watch them all, they're the same speech. He gives the same $100,000 speech probably 10 to 20 times a year. No, actually, he gives a speech like once a week. So he gives the same $100,000 speech 50 times a year, and they're all on YouTube, and they still pay him to do it. And people hire him at $10,000 to say the same thing to them. Don't worry about giving out content. People will want to hire you more, okay? Big aha moment, I hope, for some of you, okay? Let's see here. Well, anyway, the other sources of ideas are right there listed for you. Another one I'll call out that's unusual is how many of you okay, those of you who are practitioners, or any of you are wisdom sharers, do you agree 100% with what your competitors are saying in terms of giving wisdom? Or people in your industry, do you agree 100% with all the wisdom that they give? Probably not. Maybe another way of saying, do you ever find yourself saying something that you really believe, but is kind of against the grain of your industry or other practitioners like you? Do you even see some of your fellow practitioners doing things that you think are not ethical or not right, not just not helpful, not effective for their clients probably? Right? Okay. Say those are some of the best video content is when you say things that are controversial, against the grain of your industry, or calling out some of the practices happening in your industry that are not helpful for the clients. They're maybe not even true. Don't say any person's name or any company's name, obviously, but say what's going on. I do this all the time, and those are some of my most popular videos, right? Okay. All right. A common concern that some of you have is, okay, George, I can't get started doing videos because I don't have the overall content plan. Like, shouldn't video 1 be a precursor to video 2, be a precursor to video 3? You're giving yourself way too much pressure. Number 1, it doesn't work like that. Okay, you're giving yourself too much pressure. Number 2, nobody is gonna watch your videos in order, okay? Nobody, except somebody who discovers you, becomes your true fan. 1 out of every 100 true fans of yours is gonna finally say, well, let me finally watch George's videos in order from the first video. None of you have watched all 1,000 of my videos. Okay, I actually haven't even published all 1,000, but I published whatever, 600, 700 on my current channel. I have an older channel that has, like, I think 100 videos, and I made a bunch that I didn't publish. But anyway, and a bunch, I should say, part of my 1,000 videos is all the webinars I've done over the years, so I count that in there. But in terms of my YouTube videos, it's 600, 700 right now, right there on my channel. So don't worry about the order. The first 25 to 100 videos, random ideas that are coming to you. Repeat after me. I will make random videos until I get to 100. Then I look back at my random videos and I put them in some category, go, oh, isn't it interesting? When I channel my higher self authentically with a little bit of preparation, I think something's important, I follow George's 11 source ideas about videos, I find that I tend to talk about this, I tend to talk about that, I tend to talk about this, I tend to talk about that. Great. I'm much closer to what my core message is, because those are the things I think are important to talk about. Is there any missing gaps? Oh, I talk about these 4 things, but I don't talk about thing 5, 6, and 7 I think are also important. Great. Now I've got my upcoming videos. I'm going to talk about thing 5, 6, and 7. Got it? That's how you create order in your videos. Not you create it in hindsight, not going forward. You're not creating an online course. An online course obviously takes preparation, and I have a course about how to prepare and create online courses, so take that if you're interested. I'm just talking about videos that build your audience, that nurture your audience, that allow you to practice channeling your higher self, right? Your smartest self. Okay, so common question, what should go into free videos versus paid content, paid courses? What should go into it? If you only remember one thing, do not be restricted in what you share for free. Doesn't matter how much you share for free, people will still buy your video course, your online course, on the same things you did for free. It's the most miraculous and weirdest dynamic on the internet. The more free stuff you put out there, the more people want to buy from you. I don't know why, but that's my 10 years of experience, not just with myself, but watching tons of people do this. It's the weirdest thing. So don't be afraid. But if you want to be a little bit more strategic about it, this is how you think of it. Give in a free experience what is easy to consume and sell what is harder to consume. What that means is, I call it white belt content versus black belt content. Martial arts analogy here. Teach for free what's white belt, sell what's black belt. And of course, you have a kind of a spectrum in the middle decision, what you want to give for free versus what you want to charge for. Because even maybe some of your ideal clients are black belt, but they will also appreciate your white belt content. That's the weird. If you go into a white belt class, any martial arts class, you will notice that there are some black belt students, they're probably helping some of the white belt students, but they still really appreciate practicing the basic punch, because now as a black belt, they know the history of the punch, the nuance, all the possible reasons why the punch is so, they know all the nuances. The white belts are just trying not to hurt themselves and try to figure out how to put their hand out. You teach the punch, you teach the basic punch, okay? In your white belt, your free videos. And then you teach the nuances, the history, the ways that the punch can be applied in your online paid courses. Got it? Okay, let's talk about length of videos here. The number one rule for length of video, don't worry about it. A lot of the questions that a lot of you are asking me, in preparation for this course, I'm like, you shouldn't be worrying about any of those things. The only thing you should be worrying about is, are you making videos? Do you have a rhythm of it? Because everything will be sorted out once you make enough videos. You'll figure it out. Honestly, you will. I'm just giving you some, by learnings from, several years of making videos, hopefully gives you some shortcut, but that's the ultimate rule. You got to make them. Don't worry about the length. The length will surprise you. Some of my best videos are some of my longest videos, and some of my worst videos, meaning people don't even care, are some of my shortest videos. And then vice versa. There is no pattern. There is a bit of a pattern, I should say. The pattern is this. Yes, shorter videos tend to have more visibility. People, of course, they're going to say, 30-minute video? Well, maybe I don't have time. But the people who really care about your topic, who really they Googled the question, or they searched it on YouTube, or they saw it on Facebook, and that's exactly what I've been wondering about, they will watch your 30-minute video about it. So there's no real rule. Just if you care about visibility, try to keep your videos shorter. That's the only rule. But if you care about filtering forth your truest fans, make longer videos. That's why nowadays I shifted. My first several hundred videos were shorter because I'm trying to build an audience. And now that I have enough of an audience, I make long ass videos because I'm just trying to get the truest fans forward. I'm just trying to have them step forward. So they're going to watch more. Okay. So I've given you in the document, if you look down to page 7, you'll see some examples. My initial several hundred videos are 3 to 5 minutes. If you click on this and click on that link right there, it'll show you an example of, one of my shorter videos. Here's another example. If you click on it, right, another short video. And then now I have long videos, so you just click on those to find out. Instagram limits 1 minute videos in terms of the Instagram newsfeed profile, which is why I stopped doing Instagram, because I couldn't keep myself to 1 minute anymore. And nowadays I don't have to build an audience. So I'm lucky that I don't have to build an audience anymore, because I've already done it. I'm actually quite satisfied with the size of my audience. So now I opt for doing longer videos. If you are building an audience, try 1 minute videos on Instagram. You can see a bunch of my 1 minute videos that I tried there. Okay, so you can watch that. It was so hard to do. And then vertical, if you are willing, if you want to do Instagram, you could do a 10-minute video using IGTV, but it has to be vertical. That's really how it works best. So use your phone to make up to 10 minutes videos for IGTV. Okay. How do I prepare? Let's say once you've come up with sources of ideas. Let's see, a question here from, Shweta, great. Yeah, I'll talk about live versus pre-recorded later. So once you come up with your idea, your core idea for the video, then come down here to page 7, and you might want to ask yourself these questions in your basic preparation for the video. Okay, so these are 7 questions to ask yourself. Okay. How much to prep? Okay, here's how I do it. I prepare only as much as I can quickly memorize with my fingers. I've got 5 ideas. I've got ideas. I want to make a video about why I dislike marketing funnels. Okay, what are 5 ideas? 1 is that it feels manipulative. Okay, that's one idea. Second idea is that it's not a good experience for people because people feel like they're in a funnel. Okay, second idea. Third idea is that people eventually unsubscribe. I don't know. I'm just coming up with this right now. I've written articles and articles about this, but I'm just kind of coming. So just as much as you can memorize, that's how I do it. As much as I can memorize on my fingers, then when I'm making the video, I'm silently, kind of like doing this, not on screen. Like, oh yeah, that's right, manipulative. Okay, talk about that. Oh yeah, people unsubscribe. Talk about that. Okay. So that's how I prepare, is I just kind of go like this. Now, it's okay to have notes. It's okay to have notes if you have something that you can't easily memorize. And it's okay to have the notes. If you're making a video on the camera like this, it's okay to have notes on the screen. And it's actually better if you can maybe write it down on a piece of paper, or print it out, and then look down and says, well, the next thing I want to say about this, people understand when you're looking down, but when you're looking at the camera most of the time, and suddenly you're looking at your notes on the screen, it's kind of awkward. They don't know if you're looking at them, or you're looking at their chest or something like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So it's better to look down if you're referring to notes. So the next thing I want to say is, because people do this, speakers do this all the time. So anyway, but the main thing is, don't script it out. Not in the kind of videos that we're doing here. Authentic, unscripted as much as possible. Okay, common question. Well, how much do I say? How deep do I go? It's a similar question to the length question. Try to be short if you can. When you're first starting to build an audience, once you kind of have an audience and you try to bring forth your ideal clients, then you can go longer. Okay, so just basically, how many points do you want to make? Do you want to make 5 points in this video? Okay, well, first of all, decide how long you want to try to aim for. For audience building videos, try to aim for up to 5 minutes. Shorter the better, so 3 to 5 minutes. So let's say you want to make a 4-minute video. Audience, you're still building your audience. Let's make a 4-minute video. Great. How many points do you want to make? Let's say you have 3 main things you want to say. 4 minutes, you can barely say 3 things. Barely, right? 3 things you want to say. Okay. Point 1 should be done at about 1 minute and 15 seconds. So you can just kind of watch as you make your video, watch the clock or watch the video timer. Point 2 should be done by about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Point 3 by about 3 minutes, 45 seconds. And then you wrap up in 15 seconds. I'm George Kao. I'm an authentic business coach. If you need some additional support, my website is georgekao.com. I wish you blessings until the next video. Be well. 15 seconds. Got it? Okay. The other thing that's really important for prep, okay, is the first 10 seconds. That's if you're going to prep, if you're going to script at all, like I said, no script, right? But if you're going to, if you want to prep more, if you want the video to be higher quality, all I want you to do is script the first 10 seconds. That's it. Because people, if you sell them on the first 10 seconds, they will watch the next 20. And if the next 20 seconds is okay, they'll watch much of the rest of the video. So the first 10 seconds, how do you make that good? Start with a story or start with a question, okay? Those are two common ways of doing it. The third common way of doing it is start with an overview. In this video, I'm going to talk about this and that. And if they're interested in this and that, they'll likely watch the video. So that's usually how I do it. I'm kind of lazy that way. But you can start the story and say, the other day I was walking down the street, or one of my clients said to me recently, and sometimes you'll hear me do that. So start with a story, start with a question, or start with, in this video, I'm going to talk about this. Okay? All right, let's talk about the technical prep and stuff like that. Earlier, I shared this with Captain, look at the camera lens. You're going to have to practice this. Can you tell right now I'm not looking at the camera lens? Looks like I'm looking at your chest, which is kind of rude, right? Okay? Now I'm looking you in the eyes. I'm not looking at myself. Right now I'm looking at myself on the screen. So many of you do this. You're like looking at yourself on the screen, not looking at the person's eyes. Look at the camera lens. Now I'm looking at your eyes. Now if you feel like I'm having a conversation with you, you've got to practice looking at the camera lens. What I've done is I've softened my eye. I've now practiced so much that I think the camera lens is your soul. That's what I imagine. I imagine that's your soul. That's like the soul of my ideal audience. I've practiced that. So now I have like soft eyes, warm intention towards the camera lens. I have a friendship with the camera lens now. That's what you got to practice. That's the most important thing about. So let's talk about video cameras. I know some of you are really nervous about video camera, blah, blah, blah. I've given you the links. Okay, here in a page 8 of the document, basically, if you're making a video on your computer, I have a Mac. This Logitech camera works on Windows and Macs, works great on both. So just click on this link. I do have to say it's an Amazon affiliate link. So just know that, I get a little kickback if you buy this from Amazon. Previously, for several hundred videos, I used Logitech C920. It was $50. I upgraded to an $80 one. I didn't really notice. I think the Logitech C930 has a little better software, but if you want to save $30, you can go for the Logitech C920. Those are both good. And I even have a video showing you what the difference it makes to have that versus my MacBook Pro built-in camera. Even the MacBook Pro should have a great built-in camera. Not compared to these, okay, makes a huge difference, okay? What about walking videos? Just use your iPhone, use your Android device. How many of you have a smartphone? Raise your hand. Okay, if you have a smartphone, that camera is good. If you have a smartphone past 2010 or even 2008 probably, the camera's good enough, the front-facing one, okay? And the way I do it, if I'm making my walking videos, this is literally how I do it. Hold the camera like this, hold the camera like this, okay? So that, because the mic is usually, find out where the microphone is on your camera. It's usually at the bottom, okay, somewhere in the bottom. So I cup the phone like this. I'm not covering up the mic. I'm being careful not to cover the mic. I'm cupping it so that my voice, as my voice bounces against my hand, it goes into the mic. So I'm cupping it, like I'm making a cup. I'm holding it like this. And I'm walking. I'm literally, people think I'm crazy, but I'm like literally going like this as I'm walking. And I'm looking at the camera. Where's the camera lens? The camera lens is not the screen. Don't look at yourself. The camera lens, find out where it is. Here, the front-facing camera lens is that little black dot. So I had to practice looking at the black dot as I walk along. And be careful your walking path if you're doing walking videos. One tip, most of you who do walking videos go too quickly. You're walking too fast. You're like you're not running a race here. Walk as slower than you think you should walk. Super, super slow. Like you're barely walking, okay? That's much better, because if you're walking fast, the background goes way too fast and you start to huff and puff. It's awkward. If you don't want to walk, if you're still doing outdoor videos, here's the tip to do. Slowly pan, okay? So I'm holding my camera here. So here's how, if you just want to stay in one place, you don't get into trouble walking, just slowly pan as you talk. So today I'm going to talk about marketing funnels and why I'm not the biggest fan of them. So the first reason is that marketing funnels, for many of us, feel like we're manipulating people when we're doing, because actually we are, and the audience can sense it. So you see, I'm kind of slowly panning, so that way you'll see that in some of my earlier videos when I'm standing still in nature. That just makes the video background a bit more interesting. Okay. In terms of audio input, notice what I'm doing here. I'm not using the laptop's mic. I'm not using the Logitech webcam's mic. I'm using this mic. This is the best mic that I've tested. I have a professional $100 Blue Yeti, one of those awesome looking mics. This one's better. What's this? This is Apple EarPods, 40 bucks. I think it's 40 to $60 from apple.com. Don't buy knockoffs. Do not buy from Amazon, because those are knockoffs from China. If those cost $20, $10, they look exactly the same, but the mic is not the same. Buy it direct from apple.com. Okay, look for Apple EarPods. Now they have the fancy ones that are wireless, and those work great too. I just haven't tried it, but I have a client who tries that, and it sounds great. So the Apple, I've tried lapel mics. I didn't spend that much. I spent 30 bucks on a lapel mic from Amazon. I've tried the headset type, right? The best-selling headset on Amazon for like 40 bucks. This one sounds the best. I don't know why, but you might want to test it out yourself. So save you some time testing there. Okay. Background noise, background people. Yeah. So it is important. I mean, well, actually, the surprising thing about these is that it cuts out a lot of background noise. And if I'm outside if I'm walking, sometimes you see some of my early videos, I kind of go like this. So what I want, but this looks kind of awkward, looks kind of weird. So ideally you want to be in a space that's quiet, but don't worry if someone starts drilling outside your house. They can't, even though you can hear it, it doesn't come through. It's the weirdest thing. So just don't worry about that. The thing to worry about when you're outside is wind. That's the thing that's most concerning. So, and even a little bit of wind, it starts making a bad sound on video. So, look at your weather app and look for how many miles per hour. I basically, if it's like more than, 6-7 miles an hour wind, I try to make it indoors. But there are those puffs. Well, not puffs. Wind can be taken care of if I'm doing this outside. I find that does help. But if you want to use a lapel mic, there are puffs, like those fuzzy puffs you can buy on Amazon that goes over a microphone. That tends to block the wind. It's called, what is it called? Some of you know this. I think it's called wind puff or, wind blocker, something like that. Okay, let's see here. Lighting, that's super important. The most important things, I mean, I've given you right in the document the most important things. The video camera is important. The audio is important. The lighting is important. Besides that, the backdrop is somewhat important. It's not as important as you think it is, actually. The lighting is super important. People go, George, you must have such a great camera. No, I have an $80 camera. It's not considered amazing in terms of the camera. But you know what's amazing is my lighting. And how much do I spend on my lighting? $30 on Amazon. Let me show you. This is 30 bucks on Amazon. It comes with the umbrella. It even comes with a light bulb. It comes with a stand. Everything. You just bring it out of the box, plug it in, open the stand, plug it into the wall, and you're up and running. And I've used the exact same light bulb now for hundreds of videos. It's been for, I don't know, I bought it 3 years ago maybe, and it still works great. So that's all you need. I've given you the link under lighting. It's called Limo Studio Umbrella Lighting Kit, about 30 bucks from Amazon. Even in the pitch black dark, when it's at night, I'm making a video. I even put a link. Let's see here. Yeah, actually, let me show you what it looks like. So if you go to page 9 under lighting, it says, here is an example of one of my videos using it, this lighting kit. That was in the pitch black dark. I'm not using any other lighting except for this one umbrella. Actually, you know what? That pitch black, I might have been using my second umbrella. I bought 2 of these. There's a $50 kit that comes with 2 of these. And so I think that's originally what I bought. But on a daily basis, I don't usually make videos at night. So this one is great during the, right now, I just want to show you. Right now, it's right in the middle of the day. It's really bright outside. I have great daylight out here from where I am, okay? But I still use this light because I'll show you what happens. When I turn off this light, that's what I look like. You know, you see, I have some shadows on my face. That's what you want to look for, is try to avoid shadows on your face, shadows underneath your nose, right? Shadows, I mean, that's not ideal. So I turn this on, and it tends to take care of most of the shadows, you see. I have some shadows down here, but you know, that's natural. But see, the shadows under my nose, around my nose are gone. The shadows on one side of my face are gone. Because why? I placed the light slightly, you can see, this is my camera, right? The light is slightly placed on the side, a little bit on the sides, so that I've got daylight on one side and this light slightly on the other side. So you just have to play with the lighting so that the best lighting is daylight, but not direct sunlight. Direct sunlight makes you look weird because you've got this like super bright face. Kind of soft daylight is the best. And then this umbrella, it nicely balances it out. So $30, buy it and then just try it out, okay? Take pictures of yourself and, you know, use, if you're on a Mac, just open up a photo booth, right? Set up your lighting, open up photo booth and take pictures of yourself on camera and see how it looks, and then change things. If you're on a Windows, what's the Windows photo? Guys, those of you who use Windows, what's the Windows Photos app? Whatever it is to take photos on Windows. Camera, it's called, thank you, Linda. It's called Windows Camera, okay? All right, video backdrop, the only rule I have is don't let it be messy if you're inside. If you're outside, you can't really try to find a nice naturey thing outside or something. Just don't let it be messy. Some of you are making videos like in your like living room, you got a mess in the back. It's make your backdrop as visually simple as you can. Now, the only exception is if you have a nice picture in the back or if you have a bookshelf in the back. Those are the only complications that I encourage you to have. Otherwise, even a blank wall is fine. Don't get perfectionistic, okay? Now, if you want to go more pro, I haven't even done this, but I've given you a link in the document on page 10. If you want to buy a video backdrop, this is one of those green screen things you could set up and you can make yourself look like you're floating in space or you're like in a waterfall or whatever it is, right? So that's what these things do, but you know, they're not cheap. But you know, that if you're wanting to do something more special, that's what you can do. Placement, let's talk a bit about that. Notice that there's not a lot of space above my head. Some of you make videos and you look like really short, like, hi, I'm George Kao, and today I want to talk to you. Why are you so short? I actually am kind of a short guy. A lot of people think I'm tall, but I'm only 5'5". But I make myself look tall on camera because I have little space above my head, right? That's a trick. The other thing is, like, don't be like on, hi, I'm George. I mean, unless you want to show something beautiful here, why are you on the side? Put yourself in the middle, okay? And don't make your head look so, some of you are like so far away. Hi, I'm George Kao. And, and some of you are super close, like, hey, I'm George Kao, and today I want to be right in your face. Okay, so just framing. Just be a little bit wiser about it. Okay, software. I don't use any software. I basically, there is no software. I use Facebook Live, and that's Facebook there's no software. I just go on I use Google Chrome. Google Chrome and Facebook work better together. So if you're on a Mac, if you're going to do Facebook Live, use Google Chrome. Don't use Safari. Okay, don't use Microsoft Edge or whatever Microsoft's browser is. Download and use Google Chrome when you're doing Facebook Live. Of course, when you're doing YouTube Live, also use Google Chrome, because Google, right? Google and YouTube, they're the same company. Okay, let me finish up a couple things here. I know I'm going a bit over the hour, so I apologize for those who are live. You're going to get the recording, obviously, so feel free to drop off if you need to. Should you do live video? My answer is only when you get comfortable on camera. So first, do your 3 to 5 takes per video and share it with your loving group. And for appreciation, you know, like I said, first stage appreciation. And then after maybe 3 to 5 videos, you can then start asking them for some tips and feedback. And then once you start getting kind of comfortable on camera now, switch to live video. Why? Because live video, you'll find that it solves perfectionism because you only get one take. Okay, you only get one take. You're live. But the other thing that you'll find that you'll get more visibility with live videos, especially Facebook Live, especially on your profile, your Facebook profile. You do a Facebook Live video, your friends and family, and everybody's going to see it. So you get more visibility there once you're comfortable on camera and being public like that. Once you start getting some engagement on your live videos, once you know that people are watching, you also become smarter. There's more channeling of your higher self when you are like in front of an audience. You'll realize that to be the case sooner or later. That's why people like love speaking, because there's an energy of being in front of an audience that cannot be replaced when you're just pre-recording. You're just recording non-live videos. Okay. Live videos, plug into the router. You know, I've got right now. I'm doing essentially this is a live video, so I'm plugged into the internet rather than using Wi-Fi. I think that's really helpful. So try to plug in if you can. I even have a Mac that doesn't have those. I have an adapter here. You see, this is the regular internet plug-in, right? And I have to use an adapter to plug into my Mac, my fancy Mac. So whatever you need to do, try to plug into the router. That's going to much better results than with live videos. Okay. Okay. Let's start to wrap up here. All right. How many of you would like to trade feedback, be loving group for each other? Raise your hand. Some of you would. Okay. If you are willing to do that, click on this link for the course directory. Okay. And go ahead and fill in your information. Just fill in just find an empty row. Okay. Find an empty row. Someone's not typing in it yet. You can go down a few rows if you want. And then put in, oh, by the way, please don't worry about these things. If you just put in you don't have to be amazing at what you say in these two columns. So don't let these stop you from adding your name, okay? And just say how you would like support. Approximate video. Don't be shy saying I made 0 videos, because then somebody else who has also made 0 or 5 videos will be more comfortable working with you, okay? So 0 videos, 5 videos, 100 videos, doesn't matter. Work with somebody who's similar to your level. Just FYI, if you're wanting to see where people are, where you want to be contacted, your website link, if you have one. If you don't, optional. I should clarify that. Where you post your videos, optional as well. Okay, so optional. Okay. So go ahead and fill out the course directory. I look forward to seeing you all become loving audience for each other. And the last thing, I'll just take 3 minutes here. Coming back to the core message of this course, your rhythm of videos. The one thing I want you to take away is to ask yourself, what's going to be my rhythm of videos? Here's a sample plan, okay? 1, the first stage, commit to making daily videos. I challenge you. All you need is 10 to 15 minutes, and you can carve out 10 to 15 minutes a day, okay? And by the way, this is not the complete course. This is just session 1 out of 3, so we'll have a lot more. The resource guide will probably turn out to be 30 pages at some point. So make a daily video. You don't have to publish everything. You don't have to share it with your group, but commit to making a daily video, and then share 3 videos. Share 3 of your first videos with your supportive colleagues, okay? And then get some love from them, get some appreciation like we did with Captain here. And then the next set of videos that you make, 3 videos, you get one piece of feedback from them. And basically from there, you just keep on, from your small group, expand out to more of your friends. Say, hey, I know you probably don't have time to watch my videos, but if you be willing to watch 15 seconds of it and tell me what's one thing you like and one thing I can improve, that's after you've gotten enough appreciation where you can get feedback. So you just keep expanding out your circles until you're ready to post your videos on your Facebook page or on the YouTube channel to go live. Okay, so that's the plan. You start with daily videos until you make like 25 to 50. I want you to get into a rhythm where you're like, oh, making videos is, guess what? No big deal. No big deal. I want you to make daily videos until making a video is no big deal. It's so easy. I found my natural time and place. Your first 25, you're going to be experimenting. Is it going to be on my walk? Is it going to be in my home office? Is it going to be in the kitchen, right? Is it going to be in the morning, noon, evening, night, afternoon, whatever? You're experimenting. And then once you make 25, 50, 100 videos, making a video, no big deal. I'm open to appreciation now, of course, and I'm open to some feedback. Then at that point, I hope you will commit to a rhythm of live videos. Facebook Live, preferably on your business page. If not, on your profile, if you get more engagement there. If not, then do YouTube Live, knowing that probably no one's going to see it until you start to market it more, okay? So start with daily videos. Start with a very small loving group of appreciation. Expand out a little bit more. Start getting some feedback. And then once you make 25, 50, or 100 where it's becoming no big deal, commit to a rhythm of live videos. For me, it's Tuesdays and Fridays. I make live videos. For you, it could be every Monday. It could be, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. But commit to a rhythm and stick to it. It's just something you show up for no matter how bad you feel that day. I've made many live videos where you'll watch my live videos. Sometimes you'll see me say, just had an argument with my wife. I didn't get enough sleep last night. I'm still here. By the way, I don't say that in the beginning of my videos. I always remember the first 15 to 30 seconds that today I'm going to talk about blah, 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 blah. And then 1-2 minutes into it, I'm like, by the way, I didn't get enough sleep last night. So I apologize if I'm not super sharp on this live video. I hope you're okay with that. I talk about it because I have made my audience into my loving support group. And that's what's going to happen with you as well. If you're willing to make authentic, simple videos and not have to edit everything to death. If you edit everything, your audience will expect you to be perfect. If you show up as yourself and practice channeling your higher self, your audience will become your most loving support group. So with that, last thing I want to say is I challenge you, I encourage you, I give you the homework to make at least one video before the next session, okay? One video that you might be willing to get loving feedback on in our next session. So I want to give at least one feedback in the next session. And if you're willing to commit to this, to getting feedback of your video, we'll probably just watch 15 to 30 seconds. Please comment. Those of you who are live, please chat. Those of you watching the video later, I would love to give you feedback on your video if you come to the monthly bonus Q&A call. So sign up for the bonus Q&A call, and I will show you where to find that. It's in page 13. On page 13, click on bonus Q&A call. The fact that you've purchased this course means that you have access to the bonus Q&A call. If you want feedback, 15 seconds of your video, 30 seconds, come to the bonus Q&A. I would love to give you loving, supportive feedback. If you want tips, I'll give you that. But if not, I'll just say what I appreciate about your video. Okay? Those of you who are live, chat below. If you want to, then we'll give you some loving feedback. Okay. All right. I'm excited for you. Really, I am. You will find video making to be one of the most amazing tools for personal growth and professional development, honestly. So I will see you in the next session, and enjoy being a big picture perfectionist. Blessings. Be well.